Hey folks, welcome back, or of course, welcome to Lone Pine Tarot if you're brand new here, and thank you so much for joining me today for our pick a card reading on kind of a new topic, sort of. I actually used to do month ahead, like specific months of the year readings a while back when my channel was a lot younger, and I don't know, back then no one ever really seemed to get into them too much, so I kind of just dropped them off and I went to other topics and whatnot. But for some reason, when I was thinking about what topic to do for this Sunday, I thought to myself, there's something really calling me towards doing August 2025 for some reason. So I thought, you know what, let's just experiment. Let's try it again. And I think, intuitively I was drawn to it just because maybe there's something about this specific month that is special for each and every one of you. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, it's a bit of a wild card, but without further ado, let us choose our piles. We're actually picking with 3 different tarot decks today. For pile number 1, you are picking with the Ostara Tarot, and I will reveal your card. You have the Ace of Wands from Ostara. Okay. For pile number 2, you're picking also with the Ace of Wands, but from the Tarot Landscapes deck. There we go. And last but not least, for our wonderful pile number 3 over here on the right, you're picking with the Ace of Wands from the Mystery Tarot. Okay, so there is every single pile leader. So quick refresher, pile 1 over here on the left, you're Ostara Tarot. Pile 2, you are the Tarot Landscapes deck today. And pile 3, you are the Mystery Tarot today. Though as I always say, you're perfectly welcome to pause on this part of the reading if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you. If you're new to pick a card readings and you want a little bit of a nudge in the right direction on, well, how do I choose my pile? Or you'd just like to join us today for a quick moment of meditation outside of your stressful, busy time, please follow my voice right now. So close your eyes and take in a deep, cleansing breath. Imagine light filling your lungs as you do so, then hold it for just a few moments. And then when you breathe it back out again, open your eyes, and where are they drawn most first out of these 3 different cards? You'll kind of feel what I call your intuition, or like a feeling in your gut that seems right when you look at the right card, and that is the pile I recommend you choose today. But whatever your method, you can even just go what looks the coolest. That's perfectly fine too. Drop down to the description box below or the top pinned comment beneath the video. Find the timestamp for your reading, and I'll see you in our chat about predictions from your spirit guides on August 2025. See you in the reading. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 1. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about predictions and messages about August 2025. And as you recall, you were drawn to the deck, the Ostara Tarot, for your pile today. So as we always do when we pick with tarot decks, I'm going to put that right back into the deck itself. And we're going to begin with 2 tarot deck drawings today to see more about the overarching kind of trajectory of August 2025 for you. So spirit guides of pile 1 today, could you please tell us more about August 2025 for them from beginning to end? Thank you. Okay, and then we'll cut the deck. Beautiful. And then we'll also grab the other tarot deck I mentioned. Okay. And spirit guides, can you also tell me more about pile 1 overall, their role in August 2025 in their life? Thank you. Okay, let's cut the deck right there. I'm feeling drawn to that one. Okay, so let's unveil your tarot spread at least first, and then later, pile number 1, we will talk about some oracle cards too. So, revealing who you are in the month of August 2025. Excuse me. We have the Pastoral Tarot card of the 2 of Swords. Okay, so what that tells me, pile number 1, is there's major energy for you in August 2025 about making a choice. The 2 of Swords is a card of being caught between 2 different paths to take, just like this girl is standing between, it almost looks like 2 different bull thistles. I believe that's what the plant name is. Sure looks like bull thistles, yep. You can tell with the little purple flowers. And then there's 2 rabbits she could chase. And she's sitting there and she's like, well, which one do I go after? Which one is calling to me? So I don't know if you already kind of see this coming a little bit, pile number one, where perhaps you already know there's a big decision coming here in August. It's very possible that you do see that already. For some of you, this might be completely out of left field. You're like, what decision? I thought everything was like, you know, a straight and narrow path, and I completely understood like the trajectory of this next month. So of course your other tarot cards will provide more insight, maybe kind of like what this decision is that's so big. But well, either that or the Two of Swords can just mean indecisiveness in general. So it could even be that there's more than one decision that you're debating over in the month of August here, pile one. You know, it's just might be an overall theme for you of just indecisiveness of which path do I take? What is the right direction to go? Okay, so it's definitely a month of trying to reorient yourself in terms of what I like to call your North Star. Okay, what is your navigational star? What are you seeking? What are you looking for? So there also might be a little bit of what I would call like soul searching in August, okay? You know, maybe right now you're quite solid and steady in your understanding of where you're going, but then August comes along and events pop up and they kind of shake you a little bit in terms of, well, do I really want to keep following this path? Maybe I want to actually go on this path, so we'll see how that plays and works alongside your other tarot cards here. So thank you, Spirit, for providing that card. Let's first look at your first Ostara Tarot card. We have the Five of Swords reversed. Okay, so not a bad card to get at the very beginning of the month. Okay, the Five of Swords reversed can mean resolving conflicts. Okay, especially conflicts of the tongue, conflicts of arguments. You know, being Five of Swords is in the suit of air in tarot, right? Swords are air, which is our communication, it's our honesty, it's our logic, things to do with intellect and our smarts, our brains, etc. So I think because we're so close to the beginning of August already, you probably maybe like already know what this energy is because this is like the beginning of the month for you in August. Okay, so I don't know if you've had conflicts recently or arguments recently. I mean, you also kind of have, once again, swords energy, like your Two of Swords was like the overall theme of the month, right? So a lot of thinking, a lot of discussing things with other people as well. But I'm glad to report that if you are currently in a fight with somebody, or if you're currently kind of arguing with somebody, sometimes it can even be arguing with yourself, pile number one. Especially if you already kind of know what the indecisiveness is or the decision is that's coming up, it's like the end of arguing with yourself. You're like, okay, I got that resolved. Okay, so that's the very first card. Excuse me. And then the second card here is another swords. We have the King of Swords this time, okay? The King of Swords is all about, well, sometimes it can represent a person. It can represent a masculine figure that is an air sign. Or it can represent someone that is of, you know, majority masculine energy, who is communicative, is honest, is truthful, someone who's smart, someone who might even be like very educated or professional in that way, okay? Especially, you know, sword suit people tend to be like very smart, right? Like air signs, right? Communicative, they talk well, speak well, etc. They, in that way. So it can represent technically a person that pops up that's involved here and is important to the month of August for you. And or it could also represent you as a person, pile number one, where after this conflict is kind of resolved, you're coming to a time of really solidifying and taking action, especially because the kings in each court of tarot, because they're masculine energy, they take action, right? They're more about, how do I master this element, aka air, King of Swords, right? And channel it outwards and channel it forwards and work it into the world around me, I guess is how I would put that. Okay, so that could mean taking action based on this thing that you've been thinking about, okay, this decision that comes up. It could mean taking action towards more education in some way, too. That can be, especially because, like I said, swords, I kind of see as like the education suit, too. It can also mean you standing up for yourself in some way and communicating things effectively because of that. Speaking really well. Also, if some of you are coming up against anything in August where you have to speak to anybody that you're kind of worried about, or if it's like a speech, like literally maybe you have to do a presentation at work, or you have to talk in front of a lot of people, or there's a performance of some sort, that's a really good sign that that is going to go very well, especially if it's kind of towards the beginning of the month, like maybe end of the first week into the second week here being the second card. Okay, let's keep going and see what other cards pop up. Then we have another Swords. Okay, pile number 1. Apparently Swords is the theme of August for you, which we do have a little bit of a bump here, and don't run away from the reading, just hear me out, because we do have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords technically represents pain or hardship of some sort, okay? Because this is the heart of the matter, I call it, right? Being the core card, it's kind of like the Two of Swords where it's a theme of the month, okay? So the theme of the month is dealing with pain. That doesn't necessarily mean, though, pile 1, that, oh no, this big thing's gonna come and stab you in the heart. No. What it means is a lot of processing of pain, a lot of working alongside pain, okay? And trying to, like, find direction in life, you know, away from things that are painful, okay? It can also mean, though, technically, towards the middle of the month, being the central card here, that there might be a little bit of a pain point, okay? I will draw another tarot card on this actually right now, because I want to ask Spirit, you know, what is this pain point, right? Because, you know, if I were you in your shoes, I'd be like, oh, well, I don't know what to look out for here. So, Spirit guides for pile number 1, for those of them that this is kind of like a painful event that might pop up kind of in the central part of the month, okay? Can you tell me a little bit more about what it's about? Thank you. Okay, where am I feeling drawn? Let's see, right there. We have the Three of Wands. Okay, so what that tells me, pile 1, is the little pain point that's coming along in the central part of the month is something to do with you taking action on plans that you have made. You see, like, this frog here is holding, it almost looks like a fishing rod, or like this, the 3 wands, hence the 3 of Wands, right? And he's got, like, these ships circling around, like he's like, oh, I already made these plans and now my ships are out to sail, like I hope it goes well, right? So what that tells me, pile 1, there might be a little bit of a pain point with plans you've made towards the future in the month of August. I think that actually is what I'm intuitively hearing is where this decision point comes in. Okay, that's where the decision point comes in. Something happens where there's a little bit of a pain with the plans that you've made, and then you have to make a choice, okay? Now, like I said, don't run away from the reading and think it's going to be, like, the biggest, worst thing ever. I'm not getting that vibe off of it. But, you know, I want to be an honest tarot reader and read the cards truthfully when I do see there might be a little bit of a bump here in the middle of August for you, okay? So just keep an eye out for that. It's not the end of the world, especially because with the energy of the Two of Swords, it tells me that it's not like, you know, between a rock and a hard place type thing. It's not like, oh, there's no way out of this, and my plans are completely, you know, spun awry and completely, like, you know, chaotic and everything is falling apart. No. It's more of, okay, there's a little pain point. Now I need to make an adjustment and make a choice to fix it. Okay, hence the Two of Swords choice. What rabbit do I chase in order to get things back on track? So just be aware of that, okay? Let's look at the 4th card here. We have the Sun reversed. Okay, so that can reflect a little bit of the emotional turmoil that might occur after this little pain point, because the Sun reversed can mean something that, you know, we maybe feel a little bit unhappy about something. The Sun reversed can also mean, though, pile 1, something to do with needing to find truth with something, okay? So the truth seeking here towards the end of the month, right, might be a little bit more about like finding information that will help you to make this decision to get things back on track and kind of fix the little pain point, okay? It could also mean that, you know, maybe there is some sort of deception that you've been worried about recently, and the truth comes to light that way towards the end of the month. Maybe that's even kind of where the pain point comes in, is, you know, maybe someone's not been 100% honest with you about something, and like when I say that, I don't want you to fear that, like, you know, all of a sudden, like, you know, I have to worry about, like, oh, who's lying to me? I think what I'm hearing intuitively, pile 1, for those of you where that applies, you already have a kind of a feeling that, like, someone maybe isn't being 100% honest. And if that's the case, I would look towards the end of August, maybe the 3rd into 4th week, to see maybe a little bit of that crop up, maybe even related to this decision that we were talking about, okay? And then let's look at the final card, the outcome. Okay, well, here's a positive note, pile number 1. We have the World, and the World is all about the endings of things. It's also about, because it's upright, happy endings. It's endings that have all of their loose threads tied. So what I'm seeing here is you're going through a big shift in August, pile number 1. A big shift of maybe a bit of conflict at the beginning, trying to figure things out. Oh, here's a bump. Here's a little pain point. I got to decide where to go. I'm collecting truth. I'm finding out truth. And at the end, it all comes to a positive conclusion with the world upright. Okay, so even though every single, or not every single card, I shouldn't say that. Like the last 2 cards or so have been like, towards the middle to the 3rd week of August. It might be a little bit of a bump. It might have been, a little bit of stress for you at that time. It's going to come to a good conclusion, I promise, with that world card here, okay? That's a good sign. So what I'm telling you is when that pops up at that time in August, please don't freak out. Please don't fear like, everything is going to go completely bad. Keep up hope and optimism because like I said, I do see that positive outcome here with the world at the very end being upright. Okay. In terms of different categories of life in August, I'm not seeing anything specifically about like love or career for you, especially because like you have like, every single minor arcana card you got was pretty much the swords. Same thing too, other than, well, you did get the 3 of Wands, excuse me. You did get 1 Wands card. So that's a lot about air, which like I said is, elements of your life dealing with honesty, communication, intelligence, things like that, how you think about things. And then Wands are kind of leaning more into fire, which is more about like ambitions and things that we're passionate about. If you'd gotten Pentacles, I would have been able to say more, excuse me, about your career. Same thing if you'd gotten like any Cups, because Cups are water, which tends to represent like our relationships and our emotions. I don't see much about your career or relationships in the month of August here. We'll see with your Oracle cards. Maybe there'll be at least a little bit of a hint of something. So I would at least expect career and relationships to be quite stable and kind of, status quo here in August. So I wouldn't worry about any major changes in those areas. All right. Let's look at your Oracle cards here, pile number 1. I first want to look at your Hero's Journey Oracle. So making big choices, let's see, isn't, one theme. Good conclusions is another theme. Finding truth is another theme for you. Okay, anything else, spirit guides, you want to say to them about August? We have, there's no place like home, number 6, nestle into the sweetness. Okay, so there's something here about returning home. There's something about going back to basics, going back to the way things were. It's kind of, if you're familiar with tarot, this Oracle card kind of reminds me of the 6 of Cups. It's like the nostalgia card. It's like a card of looking back at the past and going home. I don't know if you've been away from home a lot recently, pile number 1. If so, that's definitely a major indicator that you're going to be returning home in August. 2, it's maybe a lot of focus on the home. Maybe that's kind of where all this stuff we talked about with your tarot cards is kind of cropping up. Maybe it's like home and family related issues that we were discussing here, and trying to bring those to like good conclusions, right? And trying to figure things out mentally. And I think that's part of what the good conclusion will be with the world upright is there's something to do with happiness in the home at the end here. Okay. It might even be what that big decision is about. Maybe you're planning on moving and you have to decide between 2 different places to stay, or it could possibly be like something to do with family. Like you have to make a decision for your family, and it comes to a good conclusion. And it's like you guys get to stay where you are, whatever that means to you, or you get to stay with the status quo, however that resonates with you, okay? No place like home. And 2, being the Hero's Journey Oracle, it's like returning home after an adventure, because that's kind of the monomyth that Oracle deck specifically uses. So it's like you've gone on this long adventure, just like a hero would in a story here in August, and then you get like that final chapter close here with the world, just like this card being home again. Back to where things are familiar. So also, if you've been recently dealing with a lot of chaos, pile number 1, a lot of unfamiliarity and new energy, I see a little bit of a return back to old energy in like a comforting, positive way in August for you, okay? Then let's look at your next Oracle card. We have the Ask Your Guides Oracle. right there. Okay, and then we have, abundance, number 36 with joy guides. Abundance. You know, and I wonder if maybe part of that is, well, number one, it's a sign of good fortune here in the month of August, especially after kind of the middle parts are dealt with, right? Because abundance is like having plenty of exactly what you need. So please be assured, pile number one, that even if there's a little bit of those bumps in the middle, you're going to achieve what you need or get what you need by the end of the month. It's also a card, too, I think, that indicates maybe that's what you're exactly seeking. Maybe that's what that major decision is about, is where do I go to find my best abundance, okay? So that's another sign that whatever decision you make, pile number one, is the decision, the choice towards abundance, right? So don't fear that it's eluded your grasp when that bump comes up, because it will get to you in the end, okay? It will be yours in the end, I'm seeing here. And then let's grab a surrender card for you, pile number one. Right there, yeah. Okay, we have surrender to joy. You know, it's interesting because we had the sun reversed earlier. Remember, because I said sometimes the sun reversed can represent a little bump of unhappiness, as well as like the truth message too. But now you have surrender to joy. I'll read the text for you. It says, a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. So that's another reassurance, pile number one, from your spirit guides that August is going to be pretty good. Okay. It is a card of saying, you know, like it says on the tin, surrender to joy, surrender to a happiness of some sort. Okay. It's also a piece of advice, a little bit of a reminder. If you were to walk away with at least one piece of advice from this reading for your month ahead, right, would be to remember to surrender to joy. Remember to let joy in, like it says. Indulge in random acts of smiling, okay? You know, maybe part of what will help you through this little bump here in the middle of the month is, for some reason, I'm hearing something about ice cream. I don't know why. It's one of those things that just pops up. I don't know. Like, so for an example, pile number one, literally, if you're having a bad day, go get some ice cream if you can. Literally just as simple as that. Go get an ice cream cone or whatever the equivalent is that you like, right? Or, you know, put on your favorite song and dance. Even if you're like the worst dancer possible, which, hello, that's me too. Even if you're the worst dancer possible, pile number one, enjoy it. Have fun with it, okay? Because like it says, even during hard and easy times, we should surrender to joy. We should surrender to happiness. We should surrender to trying to find the light even when things are a little dark, okay? Not that things seem... I'm not saying that as in like your month is going to be like super dark. I'm not saying anything drastic here. You didn't get a tower or anything, right? No tower cards, but... yeah, so, I mean, overall, pile number one, a pretty good month. We already talked about the little pain bump here. Does not mean it's the end of the world. Does not mean your plans are going to completely go through. You just might need to do a little bit of a readjustment. There's a lot about finding the abundance you're looking for. There's a lot about happy curtain closes to problems that you've been trying to solve, right? Remember, the world's upright is a happy ending to an adventure that you've been on, aka like something that you're trying to fix or solve or achieve, right? There's a return to cozy nostalgia as well. So nostalgia might even be a bit of a theme here in August, you know, not just with family, but, you know, even if, going back to the joy thing too, like, return to something that you enjoyed doing as a kid. Like, there's another piece of advice here. There's something about that too here in the month of August for some reason that's popping up, okay? Anything else? Yes, conflicts resolved. Remember, we talked about that with the Five of Swords reversed at the very beginning of the month, okay? And just remember to always speak your truth. Speak with clarity. Seek truth, too. There's a lot about themes of what is honesty, what is not, what is speaking truly, what is not speaking truly, okay? And especially when you do make that decision here, pile number one, follow the truth. Follow what you deep down inside really want to follow, okay? Follow what makes the most sense to you. When I say what makes the most sense, because you got such an abundance of swords cards, swords are of the mind and less of the heart. So if, especially this decision comes down to a choice between the mind and the heart, go with what your mind and your logic is telling you, okay? Because there is so much about swords in this month of August for you. Go with what the mind says, not the heart. Weigh the heart a little bit. Okay, make sure to follow it a little bit. You don't want to throw it in a closet and tell it, shut up, right? Don't throw the heart away, but lean towards logic and the mind more, okay? And that is what I'm seeing for the month of August for you, pile number 1. So as always, I hope, of course, most of all, that it helped you. That's what I care about most with these readings, that you walk away with something useful and makes you feel more prepared for the future, right? Also that you liked it and it resonated with you. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you have not done so already. And thank you so much if you do. And as I always say in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, pile number 1. And I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 2. Welcome to your pick a card reading today about your August 2025 predictions and messages. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to Tarot Landscapes as your deck today. So as we always do when we pick with a certain tarot deck, I like to put your card right back in so that it's available for the message. And let's shuffle right now. We're actually using 2 different tarot decks for each pile today. So first, we will get a little bit more context and insight about your August 2025, kind of from the beginning to the end, with this particular tarot spread. So let's draw those now. Spirit, can you tell me more about their August, beginning to end? Thank you. Perfect. And we also have the Pastoral Tarot today. So Spirit, with this deck, can you tell me a little bit more about Pile 2's role in their August 2025, please? Thank you. What is their role and their theme for that month? And we'll take the top. And let's unveil your cards, pile number 2. So your role in August 2025, your theme is... well, how beautiful is that, pile number 2? We have the 10 of Cups. We have a card of what pretty much looks like familial bliss. We have a family at an orchard picking apples. There's a rainbow in the background. How much happier could you get, right? All the apples are rosy and shiny. We have different generations as well. It looks like almost maybe a sister and a little brother and parents here. So the 10 of Cups, pile number 2, is often about, well, happily ever after is a really good keyword phrase to use with it. It's also about emotional fulfillment and happy resolutions when it comes to relationships, either romantic or platonic or familial, like is depicted in this particular card. It's a family, right? It's also a card of sometimes wishes granted, although I see that a little bit more with the 9 of Cups, but the 10 of Cups is such a happy, positive card. I kind of see it as like a wishes granted card too. So your role in August, pile 2, seems to be something focused on either achieving this happiness with family and relationships in general, or it's about finding emotional fulfillment of some sort. Now, so far, that's a pretty good sign of things going really well in August for you. 10 of Cups is one of the most fantastic cards to get in tarot, but let's see some more context with your other tarot cards before I say for sure, right? But that is a good sign. Okay. So Spirits gave us this card for the first one. We have the Star reversed as the very first card. So this is about more at the beginning of the month. And the Star reversed, pile number 2, often tells us of a time of we feel like we're lacking hope or faith in things working out. Okay, upright, the Star is like, ooh, I have hope. There's a light in the darkness. Oh, things are going to be fine, right? Reversed is, oh man, I feel like there's no hope. I feel like I've lost all chances for something. So especially because this is the first card of August for you, and right at the time this is uploaded, it's the very end of July. So if you watch this when it's uploaded, this is kind of the energy I think you'll be feeling maybe even right now into this beginning of August. I don't know if like recently you've had a disappointment of some sort. You felt like you lost hope or faith that something would work out. You felt like, oh man, I'm never going to get that thing that I've been wanting or that thing I've been wishing for. It's like it just wasn't meant to be, that disappointment, like those sorts of feelings, okay? Doesn't mean that you're not going to get the thing. It just means that this is, because the Star is a little bit more of an emotional representation card. It's more about the mindset of the person that pulls it, okay? Or, well, me pulling it for you, right? Yeah, so you're losing hope and faith in something. We'll see how that goes. So next up we have The Fool reversed. Lots of major arcana so far, pile number 2. The Fool reversed is being wary of taking risks. But though we have the rainbow pop up again. We have lots of rainbow symbolism in this, 2 different decks actually. And the rainbow is often representative of miracles. It's often representative of happiness after times of storms, right? It's a time of things going better after they've gone bad. But like I said, specifically, the Fool reverse tends to represent be careful of risks, especially when it comes to new adventures, because it is the card of new adventures in tarot, new beginnings. This is, I would say, kind of into like the end of the first week into the second week. Just be wary of taking risks, especially with new things that pop up, pile number 2, okay? It's not necessarily a bad card. It's more of a warning sign card, okay? So just keep that in mind, all right? So the beginning of the month so far is this time of, kind of lost hope or faith in this thing. Oh man, this new thing pops up, but maybe I should be wary of taking risks, okay? All right, don't be hasty in that time. And then the central card is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, we have some earth finally, a little bit of earth energy here. The 3 of Pentacles is teamwork, and the reason why, and this is why I love this particular depiction, well, I love this whole deck, don't get me wrong, but this particular depiction of this card is fungus or fungi working with the trees in an ecosystem. It's teamwork, right? They grow, the fungus helps decay them into the natural life cycle of the forest, okay? Things working in tandem, things working together, right? So I don't know if you have some sort of group project you've been working on, either in, well, it depends on what part of your life you're in. Might be at school, might be at work. It could be something you've been working on with a friend or working on with family, etc. There's a really big focus here, not just for the middle of August, pile number 2, but also because this is the core or the heart of the matter card I like to call in my spread. That also seems to be a major theme of August for you, is working together with other people. And especially with the 10 of Cups being your kind of overall theme and your role in this card, it's working with other people towards emotional fulfillment and happily ever afters, okay? So, seems like some sort of project might be popping up. I'm going to draw just one more card right now to have Spirit explain a little bit more about what the project might be. Of course, some of you might already know what it is because you're already kind of, even here in July, you're kind of, what it is, right? But we'll see. Spirit, what's the project or the teamwork about? What are they working on there in the middle of August? That one, okay. The 2 of Swords. Pile 1 had this card quite prominently too. The 2 of Swords is to make a decision. You're working with other people to make a choice. That's what it is. Some sort of big choice is coming in the middle of the month of August for you. And, I'm starting to wonder, pile number 2, maybe that's why, because like I said in the intro, excuse me, my voice is a bit scratchy today. Woo. I said in the intro about how I felt drawn to do August readings for everybody because I was like, there's some special reason. I don't know why. It's something intuitive, right? I think it's because there's a lot of energy of making big choices. And you're also part of this too, pile 2. You're making a big choice here in August. Something to do with teamwork with a group. A group is making a choice. Interesting. Where do we go? What direction do we take? All right. 4th card is the 8 of Cups reversed. 8 of Cups reversed can represent needing to move on from something, needing to emotionally move on specifically because it's cups, right? Being the water suit of tarot. Excuse me. And though reversed, it's like we're not quite there yet. We're not ready to move on yet. I think you make a choice here in the middle of the month, pile 2, but still by the 3rd into 4th week, you're kind of like, I'm not ready to go on that train and go down that track yet. I'm not ready to emotionally move on. There's still things I have to wrap up here. So 3rd week of August might be a little bit more about wrapping things up before you make this move. It might not be a literal move. Some of you actually might be a literal move. That's true. It could be, you're literally moving houses, you're moving somewhere, moving a job, etc. It could also mean, though, like an emotional move, especially because it being a cup suit card. It's more about an internal moving on of some sort. So making a choice together to emotionally move on from something. Interesting. Let's look at all this in encapsulation. We have the Death card at the very end reversed, okay? Death reversed as the outcome and the final card of the week, of the 4th week of August, I should say. So death, pile number 2, often represents change reversed. It's an inability to change or having some struggles with change. So a really major theme we're seeing here, 3rd to 4th week in August for you, is struggling with a moving on from something and struggling with trying to get things to change in some way. I think you already kind of know what this might be by the middle of the month, because if not already, right? Because you have that decision to make. And it's like you make this decision to move on and to change, but there's a little bit of struggle here, a little bit of obstacle here towards the end of August and actually enacting that. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, pile number 2, and it doesn't mean that, I don't see anything drastically bad about this month ahead for you. There's nothing, you didn't get the Tower card, right? There's no disaster or anything. There's nothing bad, right? It's just a time of needing to process a lot towards the end of the month, needing to really understand and work through kind of the emotional side of things. It's like with the Swords card here, you're like, I know what choice I need to make. Your mind is there, but your heart is not. Okay? So end of August is about getting the heart to work through some of that, catching up with the mind and understanding, okay, I get it logically, I need to move on. Or we need to move on, especially because of the 3 of Pentacles. It might be a group of you, right? We need to move on from this, but it's the heart that needs to catch up and go, okay, wait a minute, I need to process this a little bit. So I almost kind of see a slowness, too, towards the end of August. Not bad, but just kind of a slow down of, sometimes, you have sometimes in life where it's like, you just kind of slow down because you need to kind of work through things mentally, emotionally. Maybe a little time of more self-care, more time of introspection is a really good word to use, or keyword for this particular part of the month. And 2, remember in the beginning with the star reversed of feeling like a lack or hope of faith or in something, okay? Just because you lack hope or faith in something doesn't mean that it's not coming. Just because you might have some little bumps here with trying to emotionally process whatever this choice is, doesn't mean that whatever this dream or goal or whatever it was that you lost hope or faith in is all for naught, that it's not going to come to fruition, okay? So just remember that throughout this month. It's just, it almost feels to me, pile 2, that it's like that thing takes a back burner position because this choice comes up in the middle of the month, and or it's like the main goal has to be put on the back burner because there's like a separate choice you need to make before you can get back to the thing that you were hoping for. Keep hope, though, because you do have the 10 of Cups, remember. That is emotional satisfaction with things. You're moving towards emotional satisfaction with things in the month of August, okay? So really, it's just give yourself and let yourself have the time to process things. That's the main advice I'm hearing for August for you so far. We have oracle cards to look at as well, but also be wary of taking risks towards the beginning of the month. All right, don't take risky choices. That's what I'm seeing there. So let's look at some of your oracle cards, pile number 2. First, we have the Hero's Journey Oracle. Spirit, anything you want to say to pile 2 about, otherwise that you didn't already talk about? Oopsie, sorry. I dropped my cards on the floor. Whoops, we're going to shuffle that again. Okay, other than dropping the cards on the floor. Whoops. Anything else you want to say to pile 2 about August? Any themes? Oh boy. Well, 2 cards just came flying out, so we'll take them. Actually, pile 1 had this card as well. No place like home. Seems to be another communal theme between all of us here that watch this channel, right? No place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. So we see a little bit of that familial happiness like we did in the 10 of Cups. So I do see, if you're asking about family specifically, pile number 2, I do see familial happiness for you in the month of August. I do see, and this is exactly how I explained it to pile 1, a return to nostalgia, a return to the way things were. This is a card of returning home after an adventure, because being the Hero's Journey Oracle, it's fashioned after the monomyth in Western literature. A hero has an inciting incident, a hero goes on a journey, a hero comes home. This is the home part. You did all the work, and now it's time to return home and rest. That feels like almost more towards the end of the month here. Okay. We're going to rest. And then the other card you got was flip it upside down. Speaking of, flip it upside down. Number 27, question your beliefs. Okay, so this is kind of like the Uno reverse card of this deck. I think this is this choice that's coming up in the middle of the month for you, pile 2. Flip it upside down. Okay, I think that's why you have to put like that first goal on the back burner, because something comes along that's that Uno reverse card. Not a bad thing necessarily, right? But it's an Uno reverse card, and you're like, okay, everything gets flipped on its head. Now I have to figure out what choice do I make regarding this group or this teamwork thing that we talked about earlier. And also, look at the tagline, question your beliefs. Question what you know. Look at things in a different way. It's almost like the Hanged Man in tarot, if you're familiar with that card, pile 2. It's about looking at things from a different perspective. There's perspective shifts here in the month of August for you as well. So part of that, put the brakes on this thing, and then all of a sudden I got to deal with this thing, might be you understand something. Excuse me. Ooh, my voice is scratchy. Ooh. You understand something from a different perspective than you did before. There's some information, I think, that comes forward, and you're like, okay, now here's this Uno reverse card. What do I do now with this? And that's that decision you make with the 2 of Swords, okay? So I'm actually going to set these on each side, because we're kind of, we'll do this. I hate to cover your tarot cards, but we did already discuss them, so I think it's okay. We'll just set those there. Let's look at your Ask Your Guides Oracle. Anything else, Spirit Guides of pile 2 about August you want to tell them about? We're returning home. We're making, okay, well, there's the card. We'll keep flipping though. No, only one? Okay. Looks like that is the one for you, and we have Purpose. Number 27 with Teacher Guides Purpose. That's another theme that's common amongst the piles today, pile 2, is what is my new guiding star? What is my purpose? What am I really looking for? Those are the perspective shifts I think you're going to find here in August as well. That might even be what the Uno reverse card is put the brakes on this thing. This choice comes up, and it's about, well, what is our purpose here? What are we really trying to achieve? What are we really doing? What do we really desire out of this? What is our happily ever after here? What does that look like? Because it might be a situation where you're kind of going along, or like this group of you were going along, and, things were just going as they're supposed to go, and you didn't really think to yourselves, okay, but what are we actually setting out to do? Kind of like a rote thing, kind of like just cog in the machine, let's just keep turning, let's just keep going forward. But what are we turning for? What machine are we serving? What purpose are we serving here? Those are questions to ask yourself in August, pile number 2, okay? What am I serving? What am I really looking for? Okay, I think that's that perspective shift. You finally understand, oh, that's the purpose. That's the meaning behind it. That's the reason. Okay, or you're finding it. I think that's maybe where the emotional processing is, or, you find it and then you're not ready to move on to the new purpose or decision yet, but you're processing it at the end of August. Okay, let's look at, last but not least, your Surrender card. Any other advice you have for them, Spirit, for pile 2 for August 2025 here? What should they surrender? Parting advice. Feeling drawn to this one. We have surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. So we see that motif come up again. Making decisions and trusting those decisions after we've made them, pile number 2. That's the really big neon sign flashing part of August 2025 for you is, I gotta make a new decision now. I need to trust it. I need to process it towards this new purpose, this happily ever after that I'm looking for. Okay, so when you come across times in August here regarding making choices, regarding needing to make decisions, do not doubt yourself after you've made those choices. Okay, that is what Spirit is saying most prominently here. There's such a focus and emphasis on it. I think you might even still a little bit struggle with it because of, like I said, the 8 of Cups reversed and Death reversed at the end here. even if it's just to the point of needing to emotionally process this new direction, which is totally normal, totally allowed to, well, allow yourself to do that. I mean, we all need to emotionally process things, okay? It's the healthy thing to do, right? But at the same time, if doubt comes up in your decisions during that emotional processing, do not doubt. Do not second glance at the choices that you've made, okay? At least after that middle part of the month, right? Be wary of the risk with the Fool reverse towards the beginning of the month, but towards the middle, surrender to trust. Okay. If you're asking about specifically anything to do with certain categories of your life in August 2025, we already touched on family a little bit, so I think family might be a tiny bit of a theme, and or like your core found family, because I know sometimes people aren't necessarily in contact with like their blood family, right? Which is, totally fine too. I mean, we do have a little bit to do with cups. We do have the Eight of Cups reversed. We do have, let's see, the first card was that was a star, that's right. I would say I think family and or like the core group that you're a part of is tied to these goals. So we've kind of already discussed that with the other cards, just it being by nature intertangled, interwoven together. In terms of career, pile number 2, teamwork, we do have one Pentacles card here in the very middle. That is the Three of Pentacles, and Pentacles is like the career suit in tarot. Focus on teamwork at work as well. If you need any advice for your career in the next month or so, teamwork is the key. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? As they always say, a little corny saying. Anything else? Let's see. And relationships in general, too. There's a little bit more of an introspective focus on relationships in this next month, pile, too. For those of you especially that have just left a relationship, it's definitely a time of healing and trying to emotionally process things. That theme comes up again, emotionally process. Before going forward somewhere new, okay, in terms of like if you're actively seeking a partner, etc., and in that way. I don't see much about like socializing though. It's more of you processing relationships in an internal way rather than external actions in this next month is what I'm seeing. So there's a lot of inner work to be done in this next month that I feel like there's less about the outside world and it's more about the inner world of yours, okay? So I would almost say a lot of what you're doing, besides the major decision thing we talked about, that Uno reverse card thing, most of it is going to be kind of status quo. Other than that, I don't see any big, like, career or relationship themes outside of that. So I would consider that pile 2, if those are your questions, like, how is my career, how are my relationships, etc., going to go in this next month. Assume status quo unless affected by the things that we talked about, okay? So that is your reading for the month of August 2025. I have, of course, most of all, pile 2. I hope that it helped you. That's what I care about most. I want you to walk away from this reading feeling like you've been helped, okay? But also, too, that you liked it, and of course, that it resonated with you. And if so, please like the video itself. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And thank you so much if you do. And as I always say in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, pile 2. Hello there, my wonderful pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about predictions and messages for August 2025. And of course, as you recall, you were drawn to the Mystery Tarot as your pile leader deck today. So thank you so much for picking my favorite tarot deck out of these 3 today, pile number 3. Bit of a goofy deck, it's a cartoonish deck, but I love working with it, so thank you. As we always do with our pile leaders when they are parts of tarot decks, I'm going to put it right back into said deck, so that it's available for the message. And we're going to begin the reading today seeing a little bit of a trajectory over how is August going to go from beginning to end for you, okay? So drawing the tarot cards, Spirit, could you tell me a little bit more, beginning to end? Tell me about their August, thank you. Beautiful. And we're also going to work with the Pastoral Tarot today. Spirit, can you tell me a little bit more about pile 3 and their role in August 2025? Who are they? What's their theme in that month? Beautiful. Let's unveil your cards, pile 3. So, Pastoral Tarot, who are you in August 2025? What's your theme? We have, look at that. Very fitting for the deck we have today, because very kind of a forest, well, it's a Gravity Falls deck, which takes place in the Pacific Northwest. And go figure, we have a lumberjack, okay, for the King of Swords. Very fitting. Lots of pine trees as well. Also fitting with this deck. So the King of Swords, pile number 3, is all about someone who is the master of their thoughts, is the master of intelligence, is the master of logic, things like that. Can actually represent someone who is an air sign. A little bit more masculine energy, though. I see all of us as having both masculine and feminine energy, of course. So you might actually be an air sign or have a lot of air sign placements in your chart, pile 3, which, of course, hello, Gemini myself. But also when we just look at it, not so much as a person, the King of Swords can mean a theme of really thinking things through deeply, really understanding our logic for things, our reasons for things, finding truth, okay? Maybe even a little bit of a justice theme here too. Sometimes I see swords as the suit of justice as well, because it is so intrinsically linked to intelligence and logic. Anything else I'm seeing from this? Of course, like I said, it's a lumberjack. He's clearing things away. That might even be kind of his specific meaning with this deck is like, because a King of Swords is someone who, with their intellect, clears out the clutter, clears things away, lets light shine through, aka truth, because of its attachment to the virtue of honesty, the sword suit is. So those are your themes for the next month or so in August here. Interesting. And of course, like I said, how funny, we get a lumberjack card, and then the deck we're using is the Gravity Falls deck, which is, there's like lumberjacks all over that show. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get one of the lumberjack characters in the cards. So this is going to be kind of a beginning to the end. So the first card for August is, hey, look, it's a lumberjack girl, even with green plaid, how fitting, with an axe, as I said. Lumberjacks everywhere. We have that is the Four of Swords reversed. Okay, so the Four of Swords, pile number 3, is often about becoming active in some way. Typically upright, it's like, oh, we're sleeping, we're kind of resting, like this kid is sitting in a pit. He's depressed, but reversed, it's like, oh, finally we're active, we're awakening after a time of having been asleep. So I don't know, maybe your July has been kind of sleepy in terms of energy, action, activity, etc. Maybe your July has been so far kind of like you've been resting, kind of, getting ready for things, but it hasn't been necessarily the most energetic month. If so, that's going to change here in August, pile number 3. That's a card of, okay, things are waking up now. We're gonna pull ourselves out of the pit, out of the hole, being, well, you're not mopey, I don't think, pile 3, but that is what the character in the card is. So, yeah, waking up. Things becoming active again. So especially if you're looking for things to kind of get going, like maybe you've been kind of anxious lately in terms of things taking a long time to wake up or start, this is a really good sign for the very beginning of August for you that things are going to wake up and start for you, pile number 3, okay? So keep that in mind. The second card here is, we have the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is reversed. It can mean a little bit of maybe some questions around money and material security and career. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that, like, something super bad is going to happen. I don't see, like, often, like, I guess, like, the Tower card would mean, like, oh, a disaster is happening or something like that, or, like, a big change. It just means that maybe towards the beginning, second week of the month, you might be having some issue pop up at work or something to do with money. I actually will draw one more card on that because I want to ask Spirit exactly what the matter might be. Because, like I said, the King of Pentacles, he's like the King of Swords. He's like the mastery of his suit. But reversed, it's like having issues with that, especially in the way that it manifests outwardly, being masculine energy. So let's ask Spirit a little bit more about that. Spirit, can you tell me a little bit more about what's the King of Pentacles reversed about? What does it have to do with in their life? Like, what's the context? We have, well, there's a lumberjack girl again. Okay, Wendy is her name. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay, so I'm going to say this, pile number 3. I think it's somebody at your place of work or someone involved with your material security or your health or your home. Okay, being the Pentacle suit. A Queen of Swords reversed is someone that can be described as Well, logical, but also kind of ruthless. Also kind of like cold is another word often used to describe a Queen of Swords reversed type person. Being a queen, of course, that tends to represent maybe a feminine energy. Maybe that's why the King of Swords upright came out for you as like your theme card for the month, because, maybe you're kind of having to be the King of Swords going up against a Queen of Axes, or, well, that's what this particular deck calls it, Queen of Swords reversed, right? So that's where I see this bump coming in here, okay? If that is a person. If it's not a person specifically, which I think, because this is towards the beginning of the month, pile 3, I think you might already know who this person is. Could also mean that someone that has a negative relationship to you that is also an air sign, because it is air swords, right? So Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, etc. Anyways, as I was saying, if it's not a person, though, it can also represent that the issues regarding your material finances and career, etc. towards the beginning of the month have to do with something that, like, you just can't logically figure out. There might be a little bit of a bump of not understanding, like, how to, like, solve something. Might be a little bit of a mystery pops up. Might be a little bit of a, sometimes the suit of swords can represent challenges as well. That's another really traditional interpretation of it. So I don't see anything major. I don't see it as in, like, you're going to completely, like, you don't see, like, you're going to lose a job. I don't see that you're going to, like, lose, a ton of money or anything like that. It's just there's either this challenging Queen of Swords coming up that might put a wrench around that time of the month, okay, related to job, material security, and home, or it's like some sort of dilemma pops up that you're really having a hard time solving around that period, okay? Let's look at your middle of the month card before I go forward or expand on that more, because that might give us some more context. So the third card. Look at all these swords, pile number 3. Lots of swords. I think pile 1 had a lot of swords too. We have the Page of Axes or Swords reversed. Okay, so this is kind of what I was saying. I almost wonder for the majority of you if it is like an internal kind of confusion or mystery to be solved here, because the Page of Swords reversed is somebody that is exploring something that they're really thinking deeply about. They're trying to look around, they're trying to solve something, and specifically, like, this character from the show that this deck is based off of. I mean, he's like, I don't know, think Fox Mulder, right? He's a government agent trying to solve supernatural stuff, right? Fox Mulder, that's what I think of, right? Data Scully, whatever. Like, trying to solve a mystery of some sort, but reversed, it's like we're still struggling with that towards the middle of the month. So I will say I do see a bit of an obstacle here with that. As I said, it's not like a major in your face, like, oh no, the thing's gonna fall apart, everything's gone wrong type thing. It's just, I think you're gonna have to be, you're gonna have to put your thinking cap on around, second into middle of August. Second week into middle of August is what I meant to say. In trying to solve this. Either the problem with the woman or the feminine energy that is that Queen of Swords reversed, or trying to figure out, well, how do I solve this problem? Okay. Think. You're gonna have a Pooh Bear kind of month at the beginning of needing to sit down and tap your forehead and be like, think, what do I do? Okay, let's look at the fourth card. We have the Mabel, which is the Fool reversed. Okay, interesting. Another card that popped up a lot for, I think pile 2 had this too. Yeah. Is being wary of taking risks. Okay. The Fool reversed is a card that warns against recklessness. It's a card that warns against, being careful where you're looking. Like, she's almost towards the edge here, and she's not even looking at the edge. She's just having a fun, dandy old time with the pig, right? Gotta watch out for that ledge. Gotta watch out for those risks. Okay, so I think I'm really seeing the picture here, pile 3, of why the King of Swords came out for you as your theme of the month, or who you are. Because you're going to have to be big brain energy in this month. You're going to have to think a lot. You're going to have to think through everything really logically and figure things out. It's definitely maybe a little bit of a mentally taxing month, and I don't mean that as in, like a lot of stress necessarily, but I see it more as in, like, you having to solve a lot of things. You're going to have to get Sherlock Holmes about things, okay? And then towards the end of the month here, I would say this fourth card is maybe, third into fourth week of August. Be wary of taking risks. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't make reckless decisions, okay? Not that you would, but, sometimes things happen, or especially if we're running away from this energy right here of, oh no, this thing popped up, that's an obstacle for me, I'm trying to figure it out. Sometimes just to get away from stress or problems, we make reckless decisions. We think, okay, well, this will solve it, I'll just run into that. That's a warning to you, pile 3, for near the end of August. Don't jump into things. Go slow. Take your time, okay? Then, as the final card, we have... Oh my god, look at all these swords. We have literally the King of Swords again, but reversed, right? And literally like the big lumberjack guy, I guess. I don't know. Are some of you lumberjacks? I don't know. We have lots of lumberjack energy in like all the decks so far. All right. Manly Dan is his name, the character. So the King of Swords reversed is kind of the opposite of what we said with the King upright. Someone who represents, you know, challenges trying to... solve things, challenges trying to, especially when it comes to outward manifestation, because it is the masculine energy version of, you know, the court card of air, manifesting things regarding what we're trying to think through. So, you know what, pile number 3, and I want to be an honest tarot reader because, you know, like I said, I don't see anything major badly happening, or like, or I should reword that, blah. Nothing majorly bad happening. But I do see that this thing you're trying to think through isn't necessarily solved by the end of August. I want to say that. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you, I think you're still going to be thinking it through, okay? And I think that's why there's the warning of the Fool reversed, is don't jump to conclusions. Don't make reckless decisions here towards the end of the month, because there's still thinking to be done here, okay? It can also represent that, you know, this card up here, this King of Swords upright with this lumberjack, which, funny that they're both lumberjacks, right? Popped out earlier as a reminder to you to lean into that energy. Okay, lean into your intellect, lean into your logical thinking. You know, cut the things that you don't need anymore. Cut through the mess and the confusion and look for the clarity and light. Especially towards the end of the month where you might not be feeling that way so much because of the King of Swords being reversed here at the end, okay? You know what I'm going to do for you specifically, pile number 3? I'm going to do this special for you because I think you're going to have a lot of thinking to do in this month, as I already said ad nauseum. So what I'm going to do for you special, pile 3, is I'm going to ask Spirit if they can give us a hint towards the answer that you'll be looking for. If they can give a hint as to what the answer is. Maybe to help you not have to think so much. I mean, obviously you're going to have to think anyways, but... I'm just thinking, if I were you, pile 3, in your situation watching this reading right now, I'd be like, give me a hint. Please give me a sign, right? What is the answer? So we're going to ask Spirit that. Spirit, what's the answer? Can you give us a hint? What's the answer to the thing that they're thinking about so dang much here in August? With all these dang lumberjacks, I don't know. That, and or it could also be that there's an ancestor popping through that is a lumberjack that's helping with this reading, pile 3. That is something intuitive I just heard. Because, I mean, obviously, like, the Gravity Falls deck, that makes sense that there's lumberjacks, but, like, literally you got the lumberjack in the other tarot, too. So there might be an ancestor that's a lumberjack that's either went through a similar problem to you as you're going to be seeing or thinking through this month, and, like, they're reaching out to help you, or it's just, like, it might even be a spirit guide of yours. Sometimes family members are spirit guides. Or someone who is very woodsman type energy is what I'm feeling. Okay, so just wanted to say that. All right, so what is the answer? Let's look at the card. We have the Queen of Wands reversed. What is the answer? The Queen of Wands reversed. The answer is to be more confident in yourself, pile 3. And I know that might not sound like an exact answer, but a Queen of Wands reversed is, when it comes to advice or like it being the answer to something, the answer is to feel more... to feel more secure in yourself and to feel more confidence. Like, literally, it's the card of pep yourself up. Believe in yourself a little bit more. Okay. So that might not be a direct answer to what you're looking for here that you're thinking through in the month ahead, but it is at least a bit of a nudge of you need to trust yourself. Okay. You need to believe in the things that you're passionate about. That's another thing, because it's wands, right? Fire. That's about your passions, your ambitions, and your willpower. Okay. Believe in your power. Don't let people walk all over you, especially that Queen of Swords that might pop up reversed here. Might be a little bit of a, you know... Well, the word, for some reason I want to use the word stanky. I don't know why. Maybe this person stinks. I don't know. Like, literally, if not metaphorically. Obviously, they stink metaphorically, too. If this is a person that causes the problem, right? That Queen of Swords reversed. I don't know why the spirit was like, say stinky. I'm like, okay, whatever. We'll go with it. We'll have some humor, right? Don't let Stinky walk all over you, okay? You have the right to stand up for yourself. You have the right to speak honestly. And that's another thing I want to say, pile 3. Because of so many dang reversed swords popping up, there's a bit of an imbalance here in August for you where you might feel a little bit more hesitant to speak your truth or hesitant to speak at all. Maybe you tend to keep mum. You tend to keep quiet when there's problems. August is basically telling you here, or Spirit is saying, blast it. Don't be quiet, okay? Be honest. Don't be reckless, but be honest, okay? That would help reverse a lot of these, reversals back to upright, okay? Things being back in balance again, all right? Be honest. Be confident. Don't let people walk all over you. Remember that in the month of August, okay? Let's look at some of your oracle cards. Interesting reading today, pile number 3. If you're looking in terms of relationships, there's not like any cups cards that are coming up. So in terms of your family and love or friends, things like that, I want to say that, kind of status quo this next month. Same thing with career, although we did see that a little bit here at the beginning. There's a bit of a career message here. So what we've said so far, I think it probably has to do with your career and or, like I said, material things, home, family, I'm sorry, not family, like home and like health and things like that. So there's a bit of a hint there, but otherwise I would see it as kind of status quo. All right, so let's look at your Hero's Journey Oracle. Right there. We have, Breadcrumbs of Bliss, number 11. Heed your pleasure principle. Follow your bliss. Follow what makes you happy. That's another piece of advice for you in the month of August here, pile 3. Okay. Walk away from what makes you unhappy. Not recklessly, but walk away from it. Walk away from what no longer serves you. I mean, just like the King of Swords, as I said, he's like clearing out the forest. It's like clearing out the stuff that doesn't matter or you don't need anymore. It's also a month of like letting go of a lot of stuff you don't need anymore. Okay. Maybe even you're planning on doing some like cleaning around your house, literally. Even though it's not technically spring here, at least in the northern hemisphere, it kind of feels like spring cleaning energy to me. You just need to believe in yourself more, pile number 3. You need to follow what you want more, okay? I don't know if you've been kind of just falling over to please other people a lot lately or something like that, but that's, well, look at that purpose. Which pile 2 also had. We have a lot of collective messages today. I don't know what that is all about. I'm actually going to draw a second card too. I'm feeling drawn to that. So let's draw this one. We have, and balance. Teacher guides, balance. 26 and 27. Oh, sequential. Things going in sequential order. Okay. Purpose and balance. Okay. So there's also a theme here in August of needing to balance things. I think that's what we talked about before, so I won't repeat it too much. But like I was saying, I think because you have so many swords reversed, pile 3, what's out of balance here in August that you need to fix is being more honest and being more truthful and being more communicative, okay? That's the balance I think that they want to strike it too, especially because even when you look at this card, she's got wings, she's got a bird in the background. I think of literally there's like air going past her, so we think of like the element of air, which is also the suit of swords element, okay? Lots of air. I don't know if maybe some of you are air signs, but and then we have purpose as well. And I'll tell you the same thing I told pile number 2 when this popped out. Purpose is all about finding our North Star. What are we really looking for here? What are we really seeking? What is our goal? Because sometimes we churn along in life, pile 3, just going through the motions, just being the cog in the machine, just thinking, well, this is the logical next step, so I'll just do that, right? This is a card of reevaluation and stopping yourself and thinking, think, like everything we've seen so far, so much thinking, right? Stopping yourself and thinking, what am I really doing here? What is my purpose? Same thing, too, with breadcrumbs of bliss. I completely reversed that. Whoops. Breadcrumbs of bliss. And, it's funny, too. I think I'm getting a bit of a... For some reason, in your pile today, other piles weren't like this today, pile 3. I'm having more trouble speaking with your pile, which tends to tell me that there's a little bit of, if I didn't already say it already, like honesty, communication things going on with you here in August. Like, sometimes that happens when I'm doing a reading and I'm like, like, the other piles I'll just be completely eloquent, and then one pile I'm like, blah, 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 like stuttering over myself, and I feel that with you. You need to speak out more. I know I said that already, but there's something there where it's like even affecting me a little bit here with the reading, like picking up on your energy. I'm like, don't mince words, just say it, pile 3. Okay. But yes, your purpose as well as your bliss, following your bliss. And I think that's what the purpose is here that you're supposed to look for and find is, well, what is my bliss? What is my happily ever after with this? Okay. You know, it makes me think almost a little bit of, I believe it was Thoreau. I think it was Thoreau in his cabin, right? And he talked about there because he's like, I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately. And he says something about like sucking the marrow out of life and putting life in a corner and demanding answers. I can't remember the exact quote, so feel free to correct me below if I got that a little bit wrong. But that's what I'm feeling that you're doing here in August, is learning to live deliberately. Putting life in a corner and demanding answers. Demanding that honesty and that truth from everything in your life in here this next month. Okay. Let's look at your surrender card and then we'll draw the reading all together. Any final advice for pile 3 for the month of August, Spirit? Right there. Okay, and then we have surrender to miracles. Oh, cute. They're dolphins. Be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. Okay, so this is what I'm hearing from Spirit Pile 3 is, I know we talked about problems to be solved in the month of August. So some of you might be walking away from this reading, at least at this point in your mind, thinking, oh God, there wasn't anything happy that came out of this. What this card is reminding you for this month, pile 3, is there are good things that are coming in August for you. It's just that, and what I'm hearing intuitively is Spirit really wanted to focus on these issues because it is such a prominent matter that will come up in that month for you. And actually, you know what? I'm going to draw some more cards for you just a little bit here, pile 3. I'm going to ask, what are the miracles coming? What are the blessings coming in August for you? I want to just leave off with that, okay? But be assured, you know, even when times get tough, pile 3, even, you know, when you come across issues, you know, there's still good things that happen. Okay, so Spirit, can you, just to end the reading, a little bit more about what is like a blessing or two coming in months of August for them? Thank you. What is the blessing for them in August? What miracle should they surrender to? Let's see here. We have the 5 of Swords. God, you have so many dang swords, pile 3. I swear to God, your air signs. I don't know. The 5 of Swords with the Page of Pentacles reversed. And let's do a third card. The 7 of Swords reversed. Okay, more swords. I don't know. I guess that's your theme. Okay, so pile 3. There is a blessing in August coming for you in terms of something that you've been fighting with somebody over or having like a harsh disagreement over with, especially because of the 5 of Swords. It's like the conflict card, literally like arguments, fighting with the tongue, you know, in terms of, you know, the way you speak to each other. And it's something to do with, I think it has to do with work again. It might be that Queen of Swords energy we saw earlier, pile 3. The reversed one. If it's a person for you that's been causing you issues at work. They're going to get caught with something. Okay, that's what the 7 of Swords reversed is all about. They're trying to get sneaky away from something. Like, oh, haha, I stole this. Oh, I'm going to get away with it. But then reversed, it's like, uh-oh, spotlight's on them, they get caught. Okay, so we just have the theme of truth coming out yet again. I don't know what it is. Truth is your one keyword theme for August for you, pile 3. And it's something to do as well with the Page of Pentacles reversed. It's something to do with like money or like exploring options at work or exploring things with money. I don't know if someone's been like naughty with money at work or something, or maybe that's that Queen of Swords reversed, like she was naughty with money, okay, or they were naughty with money. They get caught. There's like an argument about it, but really in the end, the truth shines out. And maybe even right now you're thinking there's no possible way that they're going to get caught or they're going to get in trouble for this. But this is what I asked. I said, well, what's the blessing spirit? And they said, someone's going to get caught with this. Okay, that's what the Seven of Swords means. Deception revealed. Okay. So the truth will shine out in the end. Overall, too, not just with this situation, but in general in August for you, the truth will shine out in the end. Honesty is the key. Okay. That's what the King of Swords, like we said at the very beginning, that's what he represents. Is the mastery of truth and honesty and intellect and logic, okay? So, quite a month for you, pile 3. Kind of honed in on maybe one thing specifically, but I do see positive things coming, okay? It's just one of those times in life where you have to kind of sweep through a lot of the, through a lot of the chaos or like the wreck of things, and then once you clear it out, okay, here's this clean slate. This new beginning after, we've done like a metaphorical spring cleaning of sorts. Okay, so that's your reading for August 2025. I hope, of course, most of all that it helped you. That's what I care about most with these readings. Pile number 3, that you walk away feeling helped and prepared and more ready to face your month ahead. Oh, excuse me, my voice is scratchy again. Ooh. Yeah, ready to face your month ahead, but also that you liked it and it resonated with you. If so, please like the video itself, please comment down below, and of course, please subscribe to Lone Pine Tarot if you haven't done so already. And as I always say in our tradition, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye, Pile 3.